Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Kiki here. Welcome to the OG podcast. Super excited for you guys to join me in this journey. Don't know where it's gonna lead, but like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned because we're going up regardless. So again, welcome to the OG podcast. The purpose of this podcast is really just to offer game in respective fields that I have knowledge about. And when the time comes, I do plan on bringing on experts in different respective fields who can just give game. They say the game is sold, not told, but here I believe we're gonna go ahead and tell the game. Okay. The concept of this podcast really came from like years ago. I don't know, I've always been that friend who people come to for advice, come to for what's real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm gonna be the one. I call myself the voice of reason. Okay, I just say things that make sense. I like things that make sense, and I kind of just felt compelled to create a podcast because I believe I have gems and I want to share those gems. So that's really the gist of it. Nothing too crazy. But before we get too far, I want to tell you guys a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kiki. Welcome to the podcast. No, my name is Kiki. Kiki the OG is what I go by, hence the OG podcast, right? Makes sense. I am a Houston-based model. I am a lawyer by trade. I am an entrepreneur, clothing line owner, CEO, the vibes, and overall just a multifaceted individual. I'm not really going to talk about me in this video. The purpose of this video is to talk about Paris Fashion Week. Like I said, I was a model. I did go to Paris Fashion Week, and I promised the world a video, and today is the day for that video for aspiring models, for current models, because when I remember when I originally started to take modeling seriously, and it was when I was in law school. I remember reaching out to whoever, asking questions about casting calls or whatever, and like, they was stiff on you, girl. I'm not gonna lie. I really genuinely don't remember who it is. If I think hard enough, I probably could remember, but we're not even gonna do that right now. And yeah, like, nobody wanted to share information, and I just feel like that's not love. Over here it's all love, and so I wanted to make sure anyone who's looking, to go to Paris or Milan or internationally and model on a bigger platform than Houston. No offense, dang, that sounded shady. Nah, for real. Like, if you want to get out there, boom, that's the purpose of this. Without further ado, Paris Fashion Week. Where did it start? First, it started off as a dream, okay? A dream. I've always wanted to go to Paris, right? I internalized that. Paris, Milan, and other places, but Paris was first. To the point where I put it on my vision board, because Paris was on there real bad, Okay, so quick, the backstory about the vision board, because it's right here. I don't play about my vision board. I have two right here. I have all Vogue models. I subscribe to Vogue. I get their magazines, and I made physical vision boards strictly out of Vogue magazines because I want to be an international model, and that's my focus. So I want every piece of inspiration that I pull to have some fashion aspect to it. I found the perfect representation of Paris Fashion Week to me. And when I tell you that when I got to Paris, that's exactly what it looked like, from the architecture to the to the designs, to the da-da-da-da. Like, how they have the pictures of the models, like da-da-da. But what did it for me, this specific picture that I keep staring at, sorry, it's you have the clothing racks, and you have the clothes, and then you have the names of the models attached to each piece of clothing. In the Vogue magazine, one of the names that was on the only name that was on the clothes was Kiki. And y'all, it just touched my heart, because obviously it's my name, but like, I don't know, I grew up like my name, I never saw my name, not my full name, but now I go by Kiki, and for Kiki to be in Vogue, I don't know any models named Kiki, like, big name models named Kiki. I should probably research that, but it's like, wow, this is really for me. So I'm a strong believer in manifestation, and when I tell you I was wowed that God allowed all of that to align for me, I feel so blessed, and I feel so spoiled by God because he loved me real bad. So that's how it started, with my genuine desire. And I feel like the emotion that you get when you really want something is what allows the universe to conspire to make it happen for you. If you know, you know, right? Okay, boom. So let's go back. How did it start? So I remember I go to sleep early, and I was in my bed at my old apartment, and I was falling asleep. I have a specific notification for important emails on a specific email account, so I know to check my phone. And I heard it. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, who's emailing me with this important notification at 11 o'clock at night? I must have got this email from the production inviting me to Paris for Fashion Week. Y'all, drops mic. I'm in my bed finna go to sleep, and now I'm hyped. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But I'm still a lawyer, right? I'm reading the fine print in the email, and it's saying an invitation to come cast. Okay. And I'm like, who finna go to Paris and cast and potentially not, you know, not make it? Who? And so, you know, last year, 2022, was one of my favorite years, and one of the main themes that I was telling myself throughout that year was just like, walk by faith. If you were talking to me during that season, that's all I was ever saying. Like, Kiki, how are you doing, child? I'm walking by faith, like, real bad. So I immediately stopped all those limiting beliefs. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Paris, I'm gonna cast, and I'm gonna get selected, and that's that on that. So then I just started figuring out, okay, well, how am I gonna do it? So it's the finger. So I was like, I replied, thank you, you know, super excited, blah, blah, blah. But I worded it like, I'm super excited to be a part of the production and walk for you guys. Because I'm adding into it, you know, the finesse. Because that was just what I did. Like, y'all not finna play me. Who finna come to Paris? Honestly, I was a little bit offended by that. Because the production was based in New York. They knew that I was from the US. So, you know, the concept that you would even ask me to fly to cast but potentially not make it, it didn't sit right with me. I'm gonna be 1000% honest with you. I felt borderline played. I'm not gonna lie, borderline played at the lack of a guarantee. But it's the industry. It is what it is. Yes. So to which they responded, you thought it was, this is strictly an invitation to cast, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna walk. They were very clear about that, and I was like, all right, finesse, attempt one, fail. But you know, it is what it is. So regardless, my mind was made up. I was going to Paris. I had less than 2 weeks to kind of get there. But if it's a will, it's a way. And I'm the type of person where, like, as soon as my mind is made up, from that moment forward, that's how I'm moving. And I love that about me. So the testimony part for me is the fact that at that time I lost my passport. Okay, I lost my passport when I moved, and I couldn't find it, and now it's like you need it. By this point, the flight was taken care of, but I'm calling the passport office and they're booked, period. It's to the point where they're saying if you want an appointment, you would have to fly to New York or fly to Hawaii or fly to different places to get an appointment. Houston was booked. It was too much. And so I talked to this lady, and she was like, okay, I see this. She was kind of moving slow. That's the funny part. She was kind of moving slow, but she was okay. I see this appointment available in, like, let's just say Hawaii or something crazy like that. And then in the same sentence, she was like, oh, just like that, you know, it's gone. And she was like, yeah, you know, they disappear so quickly and blah, blah, blah. So listening to her say, like, she couldn't even finish her sentence and the appointment was gone. It's like, it felt like you trying to get the J's. It felt like you trying to buy a ticket to go see Drake, right? It was like everyone's trying to get there. So the pressure was on, but at the end of the day, I had like this calmness in my spirit because I'm walking by faith. I'm going to Paris. Like, regardless of the passport. Anyway, So she was like, well, do you want to look into different places, like different states? And I was like, you know, honestly, I'm not going to go to a different state to get a passport appointment. So I don't even want to waste your time. She's okay, yeah, I understand that. And she's like, well, here, let me just check one more time. Let me just check one more time. I said, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And she was like, boop, there's an appointment, you know, in Houston on 2/22. Y'all, first of all, 22 is my favorite number. 22 is my favorite number, one of them. And yeah, so I was like, ma'am, please get it. Like, and I was speaking to her slowly so I wouldn't freak her out, because I know I can be intimidating. That is feedback that I have received. So I didn't want to intimidate her, but I needed her to understand the sense of urgency. I need you to get this. So she started asking me, okay, what's your da-da-da? Ask me information, where exchange your information, like my this, and then boom. God gave me the only Houston appointment, like the day before I had to leave. So I believe 2/22 is when my appointment was, and 2/23 was the flight. It was so sick. After we cleared all of that, everything was good. I hung up with her. I got the confirmation, hung up with her, and then I'm just sitting in the car and I start crying, because I love when I see God like physically in the moment interceding on my behalf. You know what I mean? Like, of course I always see God working in my life, but I think I felt rewarded for the fact that I had so much faith and that I wasn't stressed at all about it. Mind you, I'm still running errands. Like, I'm still doing what I gotta do and moving forward with the plan. And he created a way when there was no way. Like, that's the whole testimony about Paris to me. Everything else after that was icing on the cake. Like, it just is what it is. I ended up getting my passport and everything, but the fact that, like, God gave me a passport appointment, it just God is great. Okay. Ooh, that's the part for me, because like, the interesting part, y'all didn't ask all of this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So 2/22 was the day that I dropped my clothing line. So I'm literally like coding a website, you know, editing it and everything, making sure, like, doing all of this stuff, because I didn't hire anybody, because I just wanted to know the ins and outs. This is my first time doing something like this, so I wanted to just be all hands on it, you know, self-made and everything like that. But it had to drop 2/22 at 2:22 p.m. and now I have a passport appointment on 2/22. So it's like team no sleep. It was giving very much CEO on some Suge shit. RP Dolph.
Big boss CEO on that Suge shit.
Long live Dolph. Anyway, yeah. So I get up and I had printed out my pictures or whatever, and they didn't accept my pictures or whatever because my shoulder was higher than the other one, some stuff. So they were like, we need to get you some new pictures. So what did I do? I raced home, did my makeup, because who finna have a passport picture ugly for the next, okay. Went home, put some lashes on, baby, got the simple beat real cute, real quick. Went to go take the picture, got the passport, everything was great, and then pack, and you know, launched the website. 2/22 it goes live. Pack, and boom, the very next day I'm at gate 4 going to Paris. Like, life was good, you know what I mean? Let's just fast forward to the casting. So I got there, and maybe like 2 days after I got there was the casting. So rented a vehicle, drove to the casting. Yeah, I went in there. I was on time, because I'm always on time, and I met the people, and I was like the 5th one there. And yeah, it was, first of all, everything there is big. You could tell by the location that they chose to cast that the production was going to be A1. It was very expensive. I forgot exactly where it was, but it was like some really amazing hotel. Okay, really beautiful. Everything in Paris is kind of like that from an architecture standpoint. But I'm like, oh, this where y'all picked to cast? Oh, okay, yeah, y'all got a budget. Okay, cool. But it was so sweet. I met this girl, I forgot her name, LOL, but she was like, really tall, and she was the only black girl who I saw. And she saw me, I guess my energy was given, like I was overthinking or something like that. She was like, you know, relax, like you got this. But she spoke French, but she knew enough English to tell me like, chill, little mama, you good, shawty, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so I was like, oh, am I giving like stress or whatever? She was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So I took a moment and recentered, because, you know, I was in it. We didn't made it to Paris. We here at the casting. That doesn't guarantee my, you know, acceptance into the show. So I didn't want to fumble. But I'm like, how can I fumble? You know what I'm saying? Like, me guessing myself and me affirming myself. Like, how can you fumble? You can walk in your sleep. Like, casting is light work. Like, you are her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just nice for someone to tell me, you got this. You got this. So yeah, shook that off. They take you downstairs. So I'm walking downstairs. It's finally my time. There were, I think, 4 women downstairs. And I was like, well, I have my casting comp card. Do y'all need that? No. A little stiff. Like, so I was like, okay, cool. So I walked, turned around, walked back. And then they're all kind of looking at me. Nobody's smiling. Nobody's nodding. It was just like poker face. And so it can mess with your head if you let it. But I was like, look, I know I'm, you know. For me, it was the height. I'm 5'8". If you know about modeling, like runway, they really want you 5'10". To be honest, 5'9" normally is the minimum. So by the grace of God, I'm 5'8". But like, I knew I was on the shorter side for runway, but still runway is my passion. So it's just what it is. And so immediately they start speaking French, and I'm like, dang, like. But the tonality of what they were saying, it sounded like they was talking mess. It sounded like it was like shade. It sounded like it wasn't like positive. French, the language can sound so beautiful. And like, I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I was like, man, I wish I knew French. You know, I speak Spanish, and even that I couldn't understand what they were saying. But so then I had like maybe a day or two for them to figure out if I made it or not. And so I'm sightseeing, I'm shopping, I'm, you know, eating and doing whatever it is, you know, doing touristy things, Eiffel Tower pictures, dropping it on Instagram, you know, niggas in Paris, the whole 9. Trying to distract myself from anticipating this email like crazy, because I was. But I distracted myself well, because I kind of forgot. And I kind of told myself, look, I'm already here, they're going to pick you. You're already here, they're going to pick you. Like, you're already here. You're going to pick you. And what helped me the most was the fact that I had to keep coming back to the testimony. God gave you an appointment on 2/22 to the passport office. They're going to pick you. Because if you know what I'm saying, otherwise, why would he do that? He was giving me the desires of my heart. So nothing's going to stop me now. And with that behind me, it was literally like a battery in my back. Like, I really did feel invincible. Even though I'm still going through like the emotions of it, I think it was powerful for me to try to power through, you know, the flesh and the emotions of uncertainty and doubt, and, you know, anything that the enemy might try to tell you that tells you you're not good enough, or that you're not qualified, or that you know, don't deserve to be there. I was able to, you know, in Jesus' name, be like, and do. So anyway, finally got that email. Finally got that email. They picked me, and they told me the rate, because this is a what paid show. The highest rate I've ever been booked for a show. I really did feel grateful, because it was a little taste of what I'm reaching for. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is real. Because in New York, or I guess I have not been paid what I have received in Paris, in New York, or in Houston. So I know there are productions, and maybe I just haven't made it there yet as far as New York is concerned, but New York Fashion Week specifically is a lot of working for exposure, a lot of it, until you get to the big shows. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. So yeah, got the email. We lit. We see the rate. The lawyer and me wanted to negotiate, but I was like, let me just be happy. Like, this is, you know, I'm actually happy with this. Like, I'm cool. So my only, not regret, but I was very strict on my diet, because I also know, like, I'm not gonna be eating all this bread. Like, Paris is good for croissants and pastries and bread, I'm not doing that. Not when I have a show to look cute for, like to be in my best shape possible for. And I had been working out with my trainer at the time leading up to this, so I didn't get to indulge in food like I wanted to. That's all I'm saying about that. But yeah. Okay, boom. So next is the fitting. The fitting was the dream. Okay, so I get the email with the location, and you know, we had to be there sometime in the afternoon. It was for a long period of time, and I was just excited. I had my one bag with me with my heels and just typical model bag things, you know. If you know, you know. Maybe I can do a whole separate video on that, who knows. But the essentials like pasties and shoes and whatever, just so that I can be the perfect muse. That was my goal, and that's always my goal. So I go, the venue, I thought the hotel was fine. The venue, top tier. Never had a show at a bigger venue ever in my life, period. It was so beautiful. And it looked like my vision board. Like, that's full circle what I saw. Like, the architecture on the walls were so big. I'm gonna have to insert some pictures. I'm gonna have to figure out how to insert some pictures because the architecture was crazy. The details, the paintings, the statues, the everything. So you get there and it's just like, okay, it's you versus you officially. And oh, pause. So when I got the email, I'm reading it and it tells me which category I'm in. So they had like groups, because there were so many of us. It was like group A, B, and C, and then there's group like D, E, and F, and then there's group plus. And I was like, okay. So I got accepted, but I was in group plus. And so again, I felt slighted because I'm like, okay, obviously group A sounds like it's the best, and group A, B, and C sounds like they're better than group D, E, and F. And then plus, it just gave extra. It gave that, and you know, that was the juxtaposition that I was dealing with at the time. Like, grateful to be in Paris as a model in the plus group. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know if there was a racist undertone. Like, I didn't really know, and I wasn't trying to approach it with an ungrateful, you know, attitude about it. But I'm just like, okay, I wonder what that is. Anyway, get there and they were like, okay, well, are you plus size? And I was like, no. And this lady was like, yes, she is. I was like, whew, okay. And so I think I probably said, no, I'm not. And she was like, yes, you are. I was like, okay. And so yeah, long story short, that's what plus meant. Plus meant plus size. So I show up to the fitting and boom, I'm a plus size model. As soon as we had that exchange, she was like, yes you are, yes you are. I bust out laughing because I laugh at everything, but it was just so funny because of course I've never been in a plus size category, and I'm typically one of the smaller models. Definitely one of, if not the smallest model in certain scenarios. I'm not talking about across the board, but there have been times where it's like, oh, who can fit this, Kiki, boom. Like, so that's what I'm used to. So to go from who got the smallest waist just to call a spade to I'm in my plus size model era, it was humbling, but it made me hungry because I'm like, all right, that's how you know, that's how I knew that I was closer to where I wanted to be, because industry standards are real. And that's why, you know, I kind of was shading Houston indirectly a little bit, because I no longer take the Houston fashion scene super seriously because the industry standards don't exist. And I feel like industry standards, we can make arguments that they are dumb and that they are meant to be broken and da da da, but at the same time, like, I still to an extent respect it, because you gotta play the game to get where you want to be. So industry standards are what they are, but at that point in time and at this moment in time, like, it's not my goal to change that, you know. Like, if the industry standard of a high fashion model, an international model, means you have to walk this specific walk, I'm gonna walk that walk. I'm not going to try to go to the casting and, you know, do a walk that, for example, people like to see in Houston because it makes the crowd, you know, woo. I'm gonna walk how the designer wants me to walk to accentuate the garment versus entertaining the crowd, if that makes sense, and I know it does. So anyway, wasn't tripping on being a plus size model. So they give you your paper, it has your picture on it, your name, and the list of designers who you're walking for. Your goal is to go to each designer and try on the clothes, do the fitting, and they'll initial after the fact, and they'll take a picture of you or whatever it is they have to do. For one of them, she was asking what shoes I had. You know, you just kind of go through the model experience and pick the clothes, whatever, solidify it, take a picture, and then boom. So this was fun for me because I just love the finesse and everything. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, I ended up getting pulled for additional designers to walk more than the times that I originally, you know, were on my paper. So total, I ended up walking for 7 designers. So a win is a win. If they see you and they want you, it's like, okay, come here, try this on, try this on, try this on. So I just kept getting pulled by other designers who like my look, like my whatever it is they liked about me. So that was fun. But I will say one of the original designers that I was walking for was this African woman named Viola Brentwood, and she was kind of upset because her definition of plus size was my definition of plus size. So she brought garments for regular American plus size models, so the gowns were swallowing us, and there were no models who were actually plus size to fit her garments. So she was a little mad, but she was like, you know, it is what it is. So that was interesting. Just a little fun fact. But yeah, the fitting was really great. I was exhausted, I was hungry, but I was physically hungry, but then I was also like, from a model point of view, I was hungry. I was taking notes, I was soaking everything in, you know. I think it's interesting because it was so chaotic in a sense, but it's like it was a peaceful type of chaos, because it was peaceful because, you know, you're doing what you love to do. So it was just, it's that hustle and that bustle of the behind the scenes and the model and the quick change and you drop and you get naked, which I will add, there were people behind the scenes who, in my opinion, didn't need to be there, like men who were assistants who were heterosexual and like staring at women. So it's just a lot that I had to be aware of. So I'm like, okay, cool, I'm watching him watch models undress, and I'm seeing the vibe. One thing about me, I read people well. I read the vibe, I read the room, I read the energy. Whether or not we all speak the same language or not, I know what I know, and that's all I know. So I'm like, okay, cool, let me go to the designer, build a rapport with her, and not offend her assistant, but make sure I move to the side where he can't see me to change my clothes. You know, just small stuff like that you have to pick up on the fly and keep it professional. So I mean, I really kind of thrive in those type of high paced environments. So yeah, the fitting was great. It was long. I left, I got food, kept my sightseeing. I think it was, again, another 1 to 2 days in, no, the fitting was one day, the show was the very next day. That's how that went. So yeah, I went home, took my contacts out, like ate some food, and went to sleep because call time was early in the morning and I had to get there, drive there, you know, make sure everything was good. So when it's show day, I don't play, and I really wasn't playing about this one. One thing about me, I function off of sleep. So, you know, I forgot. Echo, what's the time difference between Houston and Paris? 6 hours behind. So I'm already 6 hours behind. I remember just being sleepy throughout the day, like, because I'm 6 hours behind. And if I don't have sleep, I'm not my nicest self. Like, me sleepy and me hangry, I would rather deal with me when I'm hangry than me when I'm sleepy. I just, for some reason, I am a function of sleep. I'm not really nice. If I'm gonna just be 1000 with you, I'm not really nice when I'm sleepy. So my goal, make sure I have enough sleep. I know it's gonna be a long day. Make sure I pack things in advance so I don't leave anything. Remember what each designer told me, because I'm wearing different shoes. I brought shoe options, you know, for them to see, to make sure that we can customize the look. And some designers brought their own shoes, and you know, etc, etc. Just remembering all the notes that I had from every designer I spoke with, and just getting mentally prepared and physically prepared in my bag. I brought with me one bag, which was my never full, and I wanted to limit it to that so that I can maneuver well. Some girls were bringing suitcases, and I am not opposed to it, right? I just didn't want to, because I was approaching it like a mission. Like, I really wanted to get in there and like just kind of like move without any limitation. The behind the scenes, there were so many designers and there were so many models. It didn't make sense for me to try to be lugging some luggage around, no matter how big or small the luggage was, because it was just a small space. So I'm just thinking strategy on everything, So yeah, went home mentally prepared, went to sleep, wasn't playing. Like, woke up, you know, got ready. If I were to go back, I would have gotten some of those like under eye patches, because I mean, of course I didn't get 8 hours of sleep. I slept a good amount. It is what it is. I was still excited though. So it's like, get home, it's like sleep time here, but people are awake in America. So also, just being a regular, you know, person, I want to post my content. People are hitting me up while I'm gone, like asking to see what I'm seeing. So it's like the vlog aspect of it, the content creator aspect of it. Like, I don't want to just starve the people, so I post a little content, but you got to create the content. So that was a thing. I was just posting a little bit and recording what I could, and then I was like, I'll just come together after the fact and post it later. So next, it's show day. It's show day. I wake up, I get ready, I go. Mind you, it is cold, so just kind of in layers. I'm wearing, you know, my seamless Calvin Klein skin tone brown underwear, because brown, you know, if I have to wear something sheer, it's just brown, and it's like as close to nude as possible. I have nude undergarments, pasties ready, like everything is just ready. I don't have anything on my nails, like just in case they want to paint them. I'm just like an empty canvas. Like, my face is exfoliated, my skin is moisturized. Like, I'm just ready for whatever they're going to do to me that day. Yeah, so I get there and I go and show up. It's dark outside, and I walk in and turn up. So they had us there earlier than we needed to be, which was fine. They did provide a little bit of food, which was like bananas and like maybe oranges. We was hungry. I should have. It's like, you want to stop and get food, but you don't want to get late. So it's like, okay, you're not gonna be the person showing up. Listen, I'm not gonna be the person showing up late. I'll be hungry and just get over it, you know. So yeah, they gave us fruit. Yeah, I was hungry. I was hungry, but you don't really have time for nothing anyway. But we were just sitting there, so it was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. So they showed us the walk. We all did a walk through. That was fun. And then hair and makeup starts. And so anytime I go to a fashion show, just throughout the years, I like to get my makeup done last or closer to the end for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you get your makeup done last, it'll be the most fresh. Number two, I have PTSD when it comes to makeup artists. I'm not even gonna lie. I have been sabotaged in Houston. I've been sabotaged in New York, like with freelance makeup artists, volunteer makeup artists. Like, I've had somebody do a black smoky eye on me and it just looked like I got beat down. Like, anyway, so moving forward, I like to get my makeup done, maybe not first or in the lineup of girls. I would just kind of insert myself toward the end so that I have time to see who's a good makeup artist. I'm seeing the product. Oh, okay. I will literally go ask whoever, oh, I like your makeup, who did your makeup, and then go sit in that chair. Cause I'm not going out sad. Not only that, but like typically I bring my makeup like kit with me, but I didn't this time, which is so weird to me because I wanted to travel light, like I said, and because it was Paris, and you know I'm like at this big show, and like I just expected the makeup artist to hit different. Okay, with that, y'all, they took their time doing these little white girls makeup, though, and it looked cute. They had like blush, and it was just like so like just light, and the look was very editorial, minimal makeup, no mascara, like barely any eyebrows, and like blush and like a little bit of eyeshadow, but they just really drug it when it came to the amount of time they spent on these girls. So finally it's my turn. I kind of matriculate on in there, and oh no, I went to hair first. Let's talk hair. So I struggled with hair because I didn't know what I ended up wearing a wig to Paris, because I'm like, they can manipulate the wig. I don't want anyone messing with my natural hair, you know, who doesn't know what's going on. Paris is Europe. Europeans don't understand black hair, and I'm not gonna have heat damage come back to Houston for a show. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll wear the wig. The team who did my hair, I love them so much. They were from London, okay? And they spoke English, which is a big deal, because up until this point, I have been dealing with the language barrier for sure, from the models to the like staff to everybody. It was crazy. The hair was amazing. This girl, she told me like she was from like a school of some sort. I forgot. I'm gonna try to link stuff, but the point is, she was like, yeah, we just had a wig class, so they knew how to, you know, attach my wig for me. I went behind the scenes and I like attached it, because normally if I ever wear a wig, like I don't glue down wigs. Like I wear a wig for one day, and at the end of the day I take it off. I don't know how girls wear wigs for weeks or however long y'all keep. That's not me. I need my hair back at the end of the night. So when I showed up, the wig was not secure. It just was secure like little clips or whatever. So I went, ducked off, and tried to, you know, glue it down to whatever extent I was going to glue it down. And they had like, you know, the little tape, and they adhered the tape and like just made sure it was secure, and gave me some really cute little loose curls. Like the hair was a dream. And what I did like was like the, you know, the little cape thing they put on you. It had OG on it, which I thought was just wonderful alignment. You know, I felt like I am where I need to be today. It was a great feeling. And then after that, I went to the makeup chair. Cute lady did my makeup, but like I sat down, and then someone's yelling, okay, we have 5 minutes left for makeup, and I had just sat down, and they keep yelling, trying to let everybody know that the time for makeup has elapsed. I'm like, wow, someone's chair just became available because they spent all of this time, like an hour, on all these little white girls, like each, you know what I'm saying, to do their makeup, and now y'all gonna rush my makeup. Y'all, when I tell y'all I got out that chair looking a fool, I was so mad because I'm like, one thing I'm not gonna do is go outside. I'm not even playing. I refuse to go outside, but like she was literally trying to take pictures of me though. I'm like, okay, so where's the disconnect? What are you? And that's that thing, like, is it you don't know how to do black girls makeup? Like you taking pictures like you proud, but so yeah, that was triggering to have somebody rush my makeup, and to me sit there and feel her rushing my makeup. No offense to her, but that's what she had to do. But you know, it was just something you kind of gotta roll with the punches. Like, okay. So in my head, I'm thinking, how am I gonna finesse makeup? Stay tuned, right? So boom, I get up, and like she must have brushed my eyebrows up and tried to, child, with no mascara, child. It was a mess. So I didn't bring my full makeup, but I did bring the essentials, right? So I had mascara, and I had my little powder, and like I had some things, because you always bring something as a model. You always bring something in the event that you need something. So it was, and this was like one of my favorite moments. I want to really try to paint the picture for you guys. If you're a girl, you probably know how it feels to get out of the chair and not like your makeup. It's just worse because this is not just like a regular event that I'm going to. This is Paris Fashion Week, and this is the biggest show I've ever walked in my life, and this is, you know, the expectation, you know, to be published in multiple avenues. Like in New York, I was in Getty Images and just like published everywhere, so my expectation was even higher for this. And I'm like, wow, like I know the photographers are going to be crazy too. Like my makeup, I cannot represent myself like this. So I beeline to the bathroom with my mascara and my and like Y'all, when I opened that door to that bathroom, all I saw were black girls. And I was like, this is crazy. They messed up every black girl's makeup. And every black girl was in the bathroom. What I liked about it though was that there were black girls from America, there were black girls from France, there were black girls from Switzerland, there were black girls from Africa, there were black girls who from everywhere, right? Who spoke 5, 10 different languages. Like none of us could really communicate for real, but we all knew that we all had makeup that looked bad. So it was just a really good black girl magic moment. And it just shows like the power and the strength like of black women to stick together and communicate universally. You know, it was that global intuition to know, oh yeah, no girl, that's not cute, because the white people were like, okay, yeah, you look fine, but like when you get to the bathroom and it's your sister, it's like, girl, they got me. She's like, yes girl, like you're not tripping, your makeup is bad. And so for us to be able to communicate that without speaking any of the same language, it literally was one of my favorite moments, I'm not gonna lie. So we are like, I brought mascara, I brought powder, she brought something, and we are all figuring out how to communicate what we need and what we have to share with each other in the bathroom, and even help each other with our own makeup, despite the language barrier. And it just still to this day, it touches my heart, because I'm just like, if it's a will, it's a way. So shout out to the black girls, shout out to the nice models, shout out to, yeah, just shout out to the black girls, really, because we really crashed that, and we just turned a negative to a positive, period. It was just so fun though. It was so fun. So anyway, fixed the makeup, and now I look like a person. We kind of got in trouble because they saw us, some of us, like trying to change our makeup, and they were trying to tell us don't change the makeup because the look was editorial and the look was no mascara and whatever. And I'm over here looking at her like that, and my eyelashes full of mascara, like, okay, but it's done already. And you can't be mad because y'all gave her 5 minutes to do my makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of us. So, like, it's not that the makeup artists were trash, because the white girls look good. And I just thought, you know, to compare that to my other experiences, like, it's not new for makeup artists to not have the knowledge or, you know, the range in the colors, like skin tones, to do black makeup. That's not new. I just thought at this level it wouldn't have happened, but it did. So fun fact. Yeah, and honestly I expected more, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, we overcame that, and now we posted. So I'm like an introvert in real dipped off behind, like in between two clothing racks, which were very narrow, and I was just chilling, like kind of centering myself for what it is I'm about to do. So there were like shows, and so I knew my first show wasn't until this time, so I was just kind of chilling, watching everything kind of happen. Finally it was time for me to get dressed, and like, you know, oh, the day of, okay, that's how it happened. It was the first show. I wasn't in the first show, so I'm kind of getting out the way. That's why I was between the thing. I'm just out of the way, like watching people change, watching how fast that everything was moving, so that I can kind of get up to speed, because Houston fashion shows move fast, New York fashion shows move faster, and Paris moves the fastest I've ever had to move in my life. Okay. Yeah, so Paris by far was the best show I've ever walked in. The venue was crazy. The hair was professional. Like, the makeup artists, I mean, they were good. I didn't get the best experience, but everyone really genuinely cared about their craft, and it was kind of like anything for the shot, but it was for the look. So anything for the look. You got people tying your shoes. You got people just really dedicated to each look, and I like being around those type of creatives because everything was very meticulous. Contrast that to Houston. They might send you out in a tracksuit, you know what I'm saying, and call that fashion. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. Number 2, what was the fashion scene like compared to Houston and New York? Hopefully this whole video has answered that question. Paris by far was the best show I've ever walked in. from the designs themselves. I wore things that were just handcrafted, you know. To compare that to New York or even Houston, like they might put you in a two-piece tracksuit that was shipped over from China. Like y'all didn't actually sew and construct that garment. So from head to toe, the production was just like top tier, and it is the reason why y'all haven't seen me on the runway in Houston. If you were wondering, when I came back, I was like, yeah, y'all not finna catch me on the runway in Houston, like, unless it's just something super compelling like a Ryan New show, lol. I just don't see that. I don't see me, you know, working for free, walking, wearing designs that I don't feel are actually designs, you know what I mean, respectfully. I just was working with a different caliber of artists. Everyone who was there was an artist in their own respect, and they took their craft very seriously, and I believe they weren't doing anything for clout or for, you know, notoriety or justification, like anything like that, but they were doing it because it was what they genuinely loved to do. Everybody was in their little niche area, and everyone respected everybody else on a creative level. You contrast that to Houston. Houston is a really clout-based city. You know, they don't pay their models, they lie about with paying their models, like etc, etc. And that Houston modeling can be a whole separate video in and of itself. New York is obviously a step above. You know, you have people who have really tried to get there and have perfected their craft to a different extent, but like all of the models in Paris were extremely tall, and when I looked at them, as much, you know, as I felt about being in the plus size category, I see why I was there. Like they were so small, right? So tall and so small. I thought my little 23-inch waist was doing something, baby. They are skinty, they are snatched, and they are 6 feet tall, towering. So, you know, there is no comparison, put it like that. Okay, next question. Transportation, food, and street fashion. Oh, wait. I want to talk about the walks. Can we talk about walks? Can we talk about walks in general? This is all I'm going to say about it. In Houston, people walk for the crowd. I feel like I already said this. In Houston, we walk for the crowd. In Paris, these girls just really have been trained. These girls have perfected their craft. And, you know, it's not all that hip. In Houston, you're going to get hip, and you're going to get, you know, just a more sultry southern walk. And it's past the girls who do like the 90s fashion walk, the Naomi, you know what I'm saying, walk. It's past that. It's like bootylicious. It's like video vixen. Here's what you're getting in Houston very often. But in Paris, baby, they understood the assignment. Okay, cool. Next question. Transportation, food, and street fashion. So food, like I already said, top tier. Everything is fresh. It doesn't taste like chemicals. Like the blueberries, like the fruit. I really eat a lot of fruit in my diet. The produce was top tier. The bananas were small because there were no GMOs. Like everything was amazing. And what? Transportation. So I rented a vehicle. They can't drive in Paris. I did honestly experience racism while I was driving. I'm gonna save that. And it was kind of hard to maneuver. I am like geographically challenged, so you know, GPS is my best friend, but you know how like if you're in Houston, it's like, okay, this street, this address, and it'll go up or it'll go down, but you're looking at different names, different languages, and like it's similar to how like New York, like GPS will say you have arrived, and you're like, okay, but where? And like the address is not like actually physically on the building. It might be the building behind the building or the building above the building. So that part was really confusing. You got GPS shouting directions out to you and the names of the streets out to you, and you're trying to read it and make sure that it is what it says it is. Like transportation was stressful. Make sure you leave everywhere early so you have time to get lost and still get there on time. And street fashion. So I had a lot of different looks when I wasn't, you know, working, and I mean, I put that shit on, right? But it was not like couture. It was not like super high fashion. It was real slight. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, it was real slight. Like, it was real slight because A, it was cold and I don't like being cold, and like the outfits were minimalistic, but I was still, you know, like turning heads because everyone there dresses in like beige. It's real Caucasian. This might sound racist, but like everyone's wearing beige, black. I can't even say brown because the color was beige. Like, people were just muted, and that is one thing that was super uninspiring about Paris. Like, for it to be like fashion week, you think people would really try. I didn't really see that many people trying. I did see one girl try, and I remember it because it was one girl. I was like, oh yeah, like she really did something. Nobody was really caring, and it could be I wasn't in the right spot, but I know I was in some expensive, like I was in the good neighborhoods, you know, I was shopping in the good like areas, so I don't know. But you know, when you go to New York Fashion Week, it doesn't matter where you are, like any of the boroughs, anything like that, people are dressed. So I feel like New York, street fashion wise, it has more of a high expectation than Paris. Like, baby, everybody's wearing a doggone beige, tan, pea coat, trench coat. Like, everyone looks the same. It was so lame and uninspiring. Okay. And hey bro, this question is so childish. It says, so is it like American races or like Chinese men in the corner store races? Bro. If you know, you know, bro. If you know, you know. And it's definitely giving Chinese men in the corner store racist. Like, this is not Karen racism. This is definitely China. And I gotta sit up because I really want to, like, it's funny because the question is funny, but it's not funny because it's racism. So it's definitely Chinese man in the corner store racist because it's the concept of the way that foreigners, non-Americans, view black people because Americans view black people this certain way. So since black people are seen as the lowest on the totem pole in America, when people immigrate to America and they see how we are treated, they mimic that. So that's why Asian people in the corner store treat black people bad, and you know, other races, like, or even the Indian or Middle Eastern people in the gas stations treat black people bad, you know what I'm saying? Like, because black people don't have respect in America. So when you leave America and you're with other foreigners who know about the fact that black people are consistently mistreated across the globe, then they mirror that. So that's that. Yeah, that's that. But that's a funny question. Yeah, so with that, overall, Paris was the highlight of my modeling career. I'm really grateful for the experience, for the friendships that I made, for the networking, for the opportunity just to expand my portfolio in that way and be published in a lot of different, you know, magazines and things of that nature. And I really hope that I made you guys proud and, you know, put on for the city of Houston. I was like the only girl from Houston there. So that was really special to me. But with that, that's all that I have to talk about today. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. You know the vibes. But yeah, we out.